Hello and welcome to another How to Code Well web chat. My name is Peter Fisher. Today I'm going to talk about networking, why it's such a good thing to go to meetups, user groups, conferences, and other things like that, where you are physically talking to other developers who perhaps have been, they've got different experiences than you, perhaps they're more trained than you, maybe they've got better skills than you, or maybe you've got more skills than them, and so forth. What you can do is have a conversation with them and basically absorb their knowledge. It's a very good way to network and just be amongst other developers. It's always nice to know that other people around you are working on perhaps similar projects or have had similar issues. So if you're going through an issue at the moment in your project, perhaps it's a security thing, perhaps it's a performance thing, perhaps it's a migration thing, whatever. It's always good to bounce ideas off of people in a very loose way. You don't want to be quite sort of, exact to what it is that you're talking about. Perhaps you've signed some non-disclosure agreements, so you shouldn't really be talking about those kind of things. But you could sort of mention areas that you're working on, or in a very loose way. Or it goes back to the saying that many hands make lighter work, in a very conversational sort of way. It also means that more eyes are on the problem, right? Because you're thinking about it as you're talking about it, which is something that not a lot of us do, right? Because not a lot of us will talk out loud about the problem. They'll say it in their head, but it's when you talk about the problem out loud, then usually your brain goes, yeah, maybe you should have done it like this or something like that. That sometimes happens to me, where I discover things just by talking out loud. And I do this all the time in my office here, where I just talk about the problem out loud to no one, because listening to my own voice, trying to make sense of what I'm saying, is usually a good thing to do. Anyway, I've gone a little on a tangent there. Going back to networking, why it's such a good thing. So building your net of people, building your contacts list is very good, especially for the freelancers. If there's any freelancers watching this, which I think some people are freelancers who watch this, because you don't know what's going to happen in 3 months' time. You don't know what's going to happen in 6 months' time, a year's time, 2 years' time. So the bigger your network, your contacts list is, the better, the more surface area you can cover. So if you put out a message saying, you need some work, or you're struggling with this, or you're looking for a freelancer, to someone to outsource something, then that is, the bigger the net, the bigger coverage you can cover, the more people you can touch and contact, and that is a very, very good thing. Now, one thing I will definitely say is that it's worth going to a users group or a conference that is slightly outside of your remit. Okay, so if you're a front-end developer, there is no reason why you can't go to a back-end developers users group. There is no reason why you can't go to a hardware conference talking about networking, physical networking in computers. There's no reason why you can't go to a hardware show and talk about hardware. Maybe you're talking to developers of that hardware that you're installing your software on, right? Because you start getting different perspectives from that. So if you're talking to the people who are designing the hardware, maybe it's a mobile phone or whatever, then you can get some more granular information about maybe memory or whatever. And also, not only the stuff that is slightly out of your remit, but also quite far out of your remit. Okay, so I've gone to a British Computer Society talk about supercomputing. None of my stuff that I'm aware of is running on a supercomputer. So, and that was really over the top of my head. But it was so good to get an understanding of their challenges, or try and get an understanding of their challenges at least. And it was so good to know that there's other people in this industry who have issues as well as you in development, and listen to their challenges and stuff. And also, everybody needs a website. Everybody needs sort of a mobile app, hopefully. So it's always good to pass the business cards around. It's always good to have that sort of level of contact, and you become, in my opinion, a more rounded developer, because you've got knowledge of, small pockets of knowledge on different things. So, for example, I know more about supercomputing now than I did about a month ago. Where that knowledge is going to be used, I don't know, but at least I've got it, right? There were people there who were developers, and they go to those things without any kind of need of understanding supercomputers, a bit like me. So it's not just the talk. That's the point I'm trying to make here. It's not just the main event that you're going to see. It's also the people that are also going to that as well. So don't just think, oh, I don't need to go and see this because it's got nothing to do with what I'm doing. There's going to be obviously more people there, right? So there's going to be 3 speakers, and there might be 200 people. Well, who are you going to be speaking to most? The three people who are going to be badgered because they're speakers, or the other 198 people or 97 people who are actually there to watch those speakers? Well, you're going to be speaking to that group of people, and you're going to be talking to them about what they do and what you do. And they're not going to be working directly on the things that the speakers are talking about because they're in the same bucket as you. So don't just think, there's no point in going to that conference because it's got nothing to do with what I'm doing. No, see it as an opportunity to network. See it as an opportunity to meet other people in the industry. You never know who you're going to speak to. Obviously, I don't know why I need to remind everyone, but be courteous, be polite. You're going to be nervous, they're going to be nervous, so just be respectful. But yeah, go and enjoy yourself. That's another important point. Just go and enjoy yourself and speak to as many people as you can. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. But if anyone has found this useful, helpful, then do subscribe, and pick up the web chats and tutorials that I do each week. Thanks again for watching. Happy coding, everyone. I'll see you again. Cheers. Bye.